Yes, I am. I'm definitely ready. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, we're good. Alrighty. So, hey, I'm back with Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. So, just a little bit ago, we saw Super Mario Brothers on the NES. So, we're pretty much transitioning from a Nintendo console to a Sega console. And this is the first Sonic game. As many of you know, it is Sonic's 30th anniversary. And this is like the game that started it all for him. And just like that, I didn't even mention anything about Green Hill Zone because we're already done with the first act. So anyways, with this game in general, like the way we time it for speedruns, we actually time this with in-game time. So the time that you see on the top left corner of the screen, that's the number that we usually take on our timer, and we manually add it in there. Although one of the fellow community members, Gotta Go Faster, actually created a auto splitter for this game, in which it'll automatically tally the in-game time based on the picture on the screen. And now we're in Green Hill 2. I did have a little bit of a hiccup there. Oh wow. I thought I was going to fall into the pit, but thankfully we didn't. So now the actual reason why we run this with in-game time. As you can see there on the time bonus, where it says 50,000 points, that counts down to roughly 6 seconds. And there are plenty of stages where it does finish with under 30 seconds. So under 30 seconds will be like 50,000, and 30 is like if you hit exactly 30, it'll be 10,000, which is actually a lot shorter. And then the time bonus will just gradually get lower and lower depending on how long we take beating a stage. So now we're in Green Hill Zone, Act 3, and we're going to try to take the top route here by bouncing off these 4 objects and enemies. And just barely overshot landing on Robotnik there. You can actually land on Robotnik and get 7 hits right away. But since we missed that, that's okay. So that's roughly like a 3 to 4 second loss. No big deal. And just like that, we're done with Green Hill. And we usually see this stage in a lot of Sonic games in the future because it is a pretty iconic zone. But we didn't need to see a lot of it for this one. But now, heading into Marble Zone, I like to call this Damage Boost City, because there will be plenty of damage boosts that we will be taking throughout these next 3 stages. So for this part right here, I'm trying to make a specific cycle by not bonking into any walls. And this will come into play in the next section coming up on the bottom floor here. Oh, we don't want to push that the left way, we gotta push it the right way. This may screw up the cycle a little bit, which is okay. We can still take the second cycle. Yeah, we gotta take the second cycle. So we gotta do a specific damage boost like this. And then we are gonna take another damage boost on this spike chandelier. So we don't have to wait for it. But unfortunately, these platform cycles are slightly off. So we're gonna lose roughly about 6 seconds, which isn't too much of a difference in RTA, but in IGT it would make a big difference. So we finished the stage in 59 seconds. Normally we would finish the stage in 53. And as you can see, like the time bonus is at 5,000, it counts down a lot quicker. So now in Marble Zone Act 2, we're gonna try to catch another cycle. We're just gonna run across that little gap there. And you kind of notice that I'm jumping at the start of each stage. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to pick up Sonic's acceleration. So you'll be seeing me jump to the left or jump to the right just to pick up more speed. And as you can see, I'm just damage boosting intentionally just to get through a little quicker without having to wait on the platforms. And since we're doing the glitchless category, we will not be seeing any zips of any form. This is strictly platforming. We're just doing a lot of movement and execution in this game. I'm going to try to see if we can get this break here. Okay, good. We should be able to get past that lava shower. So the lava shower is actually pretty thin, so it doesn't really look like it's hitting Sonic. But yeah, I don't know why the hitboxes are like that in general, but it makes it easier to get through the stage. Alright, now we got Act 3 coming up. And in this game, each Act 3 will house a boss, which is Dr. Robotnik. Or if you like to call him Dr. Eggman, but I think that's the name that they gave him in Japanese. But in the Western, like the Western region, we call him Robotnik. So now we got a little bit of an auto-scroller here, so Musical, if you have anything to mention, if there's donations or just plug in the charity, feel free to do that. I appreciate that. Alright, now we're fighting Robotnik here. We're gonna try to get him before he goes completely to the right. So some of those hits did look a little risky because I was pretty much jumping over a lava pit. But I was pretty much maneuvering Sonic in a way to where you can hit the boss and then just kind of land on the platform to the left. So just like that, we're out of Marble Zone, heading into Spring Yard. And for whatever reason, part of this beat reminds me of the Inspector Gadget song. I don't know why, but it just kind of sounds like it. It's probably not as accurate, but it just gives me that vibe. It's like, oh, it's Inspector Gadget in Spring Yard. Okay, now we're gonna take this route here. We're gonna do some platforming. We might hit this guy. Yep. I jumped a little early on that section, so we ended up getting hit by the spike dude. Now we're just gonna roll on through, finish the stage. So now we got Act 2 coming up, and right at the start of the stage, I am gonna jump into the spring. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna fix my subpixels to where I can bounce off, pretty much bounce upward onto the bumper. If I didn't do that, then it would pretty much bounce me backwards. So yeah, subpixels are, I don't really know how to actually describe subpixels. Like, there's various definitions about it for various games. But they do come into play mostly for performing glitches. And of course, just trying to maneuver the platforms as well. So now we're just gonna roll on down here. We're gonna meet Randy and Orton because they like to hit us out of nowhere with the RKO. But thankfully we didn't let them do that. So yeah, one blue guy's Randy, the other blue guy's Orton. And we pretty much gave them that name during a Sonic 1 tournament because it was hitting a lot of the players, like, just pretty much they're arriving quickly and they're just knocking them out. So now in Spring Yard 3, there's another cycle that we're going to try to make here. We barely missed getting crushed there. Okay, so we're going to take this top route. And then we're going to get some momentum to jump at the edge of that triangle to make it over the spring. Otherwise we would have fell back down and had to do it again. So now we're going to go down this half pipe. And we're going to go ahead and grab the invincibility and the speed shoes. And we're going to try to carry this all the way to the boss fight. Okay, should have a good cycle for the stairs coming up. We did, but I accidentally bonked. That's fine. Now we got Robotnik again, and we should pretty much catch him before he goes to the middle. There we go. So with Sonic, if you manage to jump on the frame that you land, you can actually gain more jump height, which is what I was able to do against Robotnik. And normally Robotnik would be slightly higher, so you would miss him entirely, but that wasn't the case in this instance. All right, so now we're in Labyrinth, so we got our first water stage here. And water stages are, they're pretty much a nuisance in Sonic games compared to Mario. And the reason being is Sonic doesn't swim. He pretty much sinks to the floor when he's in the water. And he can pretty much drown as well, so we're gonna try to avoid that as much as possible. So now we take this top route here, which is actually faster than playing through the level normally, because the normal level is much longer and it's more annoying because you're pretty much like submerged in water for most of the time. But in this case, we were only in the water for about a third of the stage. So now we got Act 2 coming up. And if you guys are scared of the drowning music, I apologize in advance because we will be hearing that towards the end of the level. And we will hear it again in Act 3. But now we're gonna keep meeting the cycles so we can avoid those spinning ball and chains. And then for this part, just gonna go ahead and open the door, and we're gonna grab the invincibility. We're gonna try to carry this towards an Orbinaut, which is one of the enemies with the that guy right there. So we're gonna see another Orbinaut. I'm gonna try to carry the star. Oh, I don't think we're gonna carry the invincibility now. Maybe. Ah, it just ran out. That's all right. There we go. That wasn't too bad, now was it? Act 3, on the other hand, is probably the more dangerous of the run. We're gonna try to go do this strat called Bubbleless, which is basically what we did at the end of Act 2, but it's a lot more tighter. So I'm gonna try to concentrate when we get to that section. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna set up for a intentional damage. And since I touched the ground, Sonic's drowning meter started right now. So we're gonna try to carry this timer all the way to the surface. Try to get past these here. I think we're good. Yep, we're good. Barely had like milliseconds to spare. Alright, now we're gonna take the ascent to the boss fight, and we're gonna see if we can try to skip the boss as well. Let's see. Nope, we're not gonna be able to skip it. So now we gotta play a little safer because Robotnik does move pretty slow while he's ascending. And these tridents and lava shooters are on a cycle as well. And since I don't have any rings, I need to be careful. Alright, take it safe with this one too. But yeah, it's not really mandatory to kill Robotnik, but you can actually skip him to where you can be above him, and you can save a lot more time that way. But I'm actually glad I got Bubbleless, so 1 out of 2 ain't bad. So now we got the calm before the storm, Starlight. These next couple stages are pretty short. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start rolling and jumping off the slope to gain more speed. I'm just gonna bounce up that spring to take the top route. And pretty much the rule of thumb for Sonic games is like the top route is usually the quicker route. And as you can see, I don't really spin dash in Sonic 1 because there isn't spin dashing in this game. They did add that onto the Saturn port, however, but I feel like the spin dash doesn't really complement the levels fairly well in this game. So I pretty much like it the way it is. So now we've got Starlight 2. This is pretty much the same beginning as Spring Air 2. Just gonna jump into the spring and start rolling. And we're just gonna be careful not to clip through those loops there. And again, we are taking the top route. Gonna jump off the slope going downwards to gain more speed. And then we're just gonna jump right here. And this is pretty much a shortcut to the end of the level. So yeah, just like that. 2 levels that are below 30 seconds. And now we have Act 3 coming up, and this boss fight is very annoying to deal with. But first, we gotta get there. So at the beginning, we're gonna do a big jump and start rolling to land on the seesaw. I'm gonna jump on this one and then get more jump height for this, and then we're gonna take the top route yet again. I'm just gonna roll a couple times here, and then we're gonna jump out of our roll and then break to go down here. Let me see if I can get this frame perfect jump to kill this Orbinaut. Ah, that was close. I think I might have been a frame late on that. But as you can see, it does create a lot of lag with the rings. So now we got this boss fight. Okay, this is actually going pretty good. Wow, that was a really good fight. So what I was doing there is I was jumping as soon as I land on the seesaw to get more jump height. And getting a 52 in this stage is pretty good. Like, I think my PB has like 56 or a 57. The 52 is like very rare to come by. So that was a really solid stage. Now I got Scrap Brain. Pretty much into the home stretch of Sonic 1. Pretty crazy to think that we're already here. And then we're gonna make sure that we jump on these ice cream sandwiches, as I like to call those platforms. Gonna take this route down here, and then I'm gonna stand on this one. Let's see if these platforms spawn. Nope, it's gonna spawn right here. And I'm gonna roll through. Thankfully, I didn't land on the red platform early on. Otherwise, it would have messed up the cycle for the door opening above. But we're out of Scrap Brain 1. And now Scrap Brain 2, we're pretty much entering Robotnik's lair. But we're only going to be there for about a minute. So first things first, I'm going to get a frame perfect jump to get on that gear. Unfortunately, I messed up the second jump there, but that's okay. Still able to recover. Gonna intentionally take damage on this flamethrower. Gonna make sure that ball and chain doesn't hit us. I'm gonna get a little slow here. We shouldn't get hit by that one. But yeah, as you can see, like, this game is pretty much based off of cycles. It's like if you don't meet a specific cycle, you'll be stuck for like a couple seconds. Which may not seem like much, but if you're doing IGT, then yeah, it would pretty much come into play quite a bit. Now we got these spinning saws. Get damaged by one of them is no big deal. And now we're just gonna roll on through. See where these guys are at. Okay, I'm gonna jump over that one. There we go. Alright, now we're gonna see a little bit of a cutscene. We're gonna see Robotnik on the other side of this screen. And he's gonna send us down to the bottom. So he's pretty much in Final Zone, which is where he's at. But we're gonna go take a detour into Scrap Brain 3, which I like to call it Labyrinth 4, because it looks just like Labyrinth, except different coloring. I'm gonna head into the grape juice. And originally this level is very long, but there is a shortcut to this. and you could pretty much finish the stage in about like 23 seconds or so. Well, I got hit there, so I will finish in 24. So now we are in Final Zone. Don't worry, that is not your feed skipping. I am actually pausing the game to manipulate Robotnik's RNG. And with this RNG manipulation, I will know exactly where Robotnik appear. So the top pistons are 1 and 3. The bottom pistons are 2 and 4. So I pretty much know exactly where he's going to appear. And also just a heads up, time will be on fade out. So we got like 4 more hits to go. And I'm going to go all the way to the right. I'm going to jump through this big gap. Okay, if I do this last part correctly, I should be done with this stage in a 113 or 114. Or 112 or 113. Alright, here we go. Get ready on time. And time. Yep, that is Sonic 1 glitchless. So we pretty much saw every stage of the game without having to use zips. What was the time on that, by the way? That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But anyways, that is Sonic 1. Stick around. We got Sonic 2 coming up in just a few minutes. And we will be seeing some crazy glitches in that game. So stay tuned.